Yesterday, on December 7th, 2024, we celebrated the 83rd anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, also known as the Day of Infamy in Franklin D. Roosevelt's speech. Good evening, everyone. I am Akash Bainipati, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the Pearl Harbor attack. On 26 November 1941, the Japanese fleet under Commander Isoroku Yamamoto sailed to the Pacific Ocean on a mission to attack Pearl Harbor. And on December 7, 1941, and as expected, on December 7, 1941, the attack began. On this day, the Japanese fleet under Isoroku Yamamoto, from the carriers, the planes flew. They left the aircraft carriers, and then they flew to Pearl Harbor. And once they reached, they attacked. The Americans saw the planes, and instant mayhem occurred. Yes, mayhem. They saw Japanese planes in the sky, and they were desperate. However, the Japanese planes destroyed most of the airfield, and the aircraft carrier hit the hardest was the USS Arizona. Yes, the USS Arizona was hit the hardest by the Japanese. Nowadays, there's a memorial of the USS, a memorial in the USS on the top of the destroyed USS Arizona. In the attack, 2,500 men were killed, including sailors. And the Japanese had awoken the sleeping giant. The following day, on 8th December 1941, the United States declared war on Japan, and a few days later, the United States declared war on Germany and Italy. For 4 years, the United States fought the Japanese, the Germans, and the Italians. And the United States was very successful. They captured all the islands, like most of the territory under the Japanese. And their last battle was in the Battle of Okinawa, and eventually the United States dropped little boy on Hiroshima on August 6th, 1945, and 3 days later, on August 9th, 1945, they dropped Fat Man on Nagasaki, vaporizing the two cities. Fat Man vaporized Nagasaki, while Little Boy vaporized Hiroshima. 2 years after the attack on Pearl Harbor, on April 18th, 1943, Operation Vengeance began. The plan was to assassinate Isoroku Yamamoto, and and the aircraft used was a squadron of P-38 Lightnings over Bougainville. And the Japanese, well, there were a few bombers, one bomber, the passenger was Isoroku Yamamoto, a Japanese Navy admiral, and he was dead. The United States had assassinated Isoroku Yamamoto, and the aim of Pearl Harbor was to destroy the US Pacific Fleet. But why did the Japanese ever go so far to attack a US airfield and US military, also a US military base in an island in Hawaii, in a military in Pearl Harbor? Well, it is because of the resources. Let me explain. So, in 1937, Japan invaded China after the Marco Polo Bridge incident, and they fought, and the Nanking Massacre happened. At the time, China was the Republic of China, and the Japanese started using oil. There were oil reserves in Manchuria, and in 1931, the Japanese, like 6 years before they invaded China, they invaded Manchuria with the help of an army called the Kwantung Army, and they obtained the oil fields. Yes, oil fields were there in Manchuria, and well, they got that oil, and eventually they were, capturing territory to find some good resources. And the United States did not like any of that. Yes, they did not like any of that. So they imposed an oil embargo. I repeat, an oil embargo on the Japanese, so that they have a shortage of oil. So that is why the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in the first place, under the orders of Japanese Prime Minister Hideki Tojo. Yes, under the orders of Japanese Prime Minister Hideki Tojo. And the United States, in the Pacific Theater in mid-World War II, had captured the oil fields. So Japan had a shortage of resources like rubber and they had a shortage of oil. So they were hopeless. They couldn't gather any oil because the Americans captured the territories. And the United States defeated Japan, and Japan had to surrender on August 15th, 1945. That's it for today's video. I hope you love this video. Thank you for listening to this video, and bye. See you later.